Good morning. I hope you slept well. Hope you feel good today. And if you don't, I hope you find a way to feel good. Let's jump right into the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was able to come home after a long drive last night. Breathing was a little off. I was able to get all the yard and stuff mowed. I don't like my yard as short as the neighbor over there because then it kind of looks like it's burned. You can see where my property line starts. I like mine cut just a little bit longer than most people. See the neighbor over there as well. His yard is the same. It's kind of got some light tan burns. Well, not burn spots, but tan spots. But mine, I don't like that. I like mine to stay nice and plush green across the board. Yep. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the industry. Last night I dropped a video kind of unexpected that I was going to do it, but I went ahead and did it anyway and said, what the heck? Why not start teaching people about this industry and kind of why technician shortages are happening? A lot of the technician shortages because the new generation coming up, they are walking into an industry that's changing very, very fast. More and more EV, less and less ICE, internal combustion engine stuff. Man, the birds shit all over my car today. Wow. Some of the schools are harder and harder to get into because the dealerships don't have enough people waiting to get into these schools to keep the doors open. So the slots and the rotations stay available for people coming into the industry or other technicians that possibly need training. That's a big problem right now as well. You'll have 20 classes available, but they're not available because there's not enough demand to put people in the seats, so they can't open the classes for two guys. In all reality, as much of a pain in the butt as it would be, if there's one guy to sit in that seat, if there's two guys to sit in those seats, I think Ford should still have those classes available. Any manufacturer should have those classes available. Why? Because that's another trained, certified technician that's on the floor, available to the consumer to work on those vehicles. To shut that class down because you don't have enough bodies to fill the seats because of money, theoretically makes sense. Overall, and the bigger picture, the grand scheme of how everything operates, it doesn't make sense. You want as many trained technicians on the floor as possible. Sometimes you may have to lose money in order for that to happen. But you're setting up your foundation of repair and what's available to the consumer better. So yeah, you'll lose a little bit of money, but you'll have more trained technicians on the ground. The principle behind having available trained technicians is there. How they carry out making it happen is where it fails. I was at Dundee Ford for almost 5 years. No, 4 years. Yeah. Not one single time in those 4 years was I sent to any kind of training class. Why? What service manager failed? What director of service failed? How do you have a technician that has just a few classes left not make it to those classes? I'll tell you why. The reason is you get enough trained people in your establishment, you get enough trained people on the floor Some people that may already have those couple certifications, the dealerships become uninterested in helping you finish what you set out to achieve. 4 years and can't finish up the rest of the last couple little training classes. 4 years, no raise. I mean, I think there was actually one raise. But 4 years, they got a guy working at the dealer that's been with Ford for almost 15 years, and he doesn't have one single certification, actually sit down in class certification, and he's one of the smartest dudes that I know, man. He is a freaking wizard when it comes to fixing these cars. He's been with the company so long and he's learned so much, they haven't sent him to one single class. And the dealership is closing now. You know, the sad part about it is, when I was in Louisiana working at the Ford dealer down there, I had a ton of certifications when I walked in that dealer, and I get inside the dealer and I'm like, well, how many people do we have working here? And they're like, yeah, we have a 30-some year interior tech out there. He's been the interacting foreman, but he doesn't really know too much about gas and diesel stuff, and he can do brakes and everything from time to time, but he doesn't do anything else other than that. He's got a helper, and then you got a couple lube techs and another helper out there. And I said, so all I have at my disposal for work is 2 lube techs and 2 helpers? Unfortunately, yeah. There's no other employees here? Well, we don't really stay busy enough to have more than just that. So, well, that don't make any sense. And they said, yeah, it is what it is, though. Well, we're gonna get you signed up and get you in class right away. Okay, all right, I'm good. Send me to class. Give me a vehicle. Send me to class for 4 days. Certified. Come back. Work another month. Send me to class again for 4 or 5 days. Come back. And they kept me in these classes, man, pounding these classes down my throat because they wanted the dealership to have certifications in certain areas to be legit to do the warranty work that did come through the door. They needed at least one guy. It's a basic status that affects the entire shop. If one guy has it, then you can have then the shop equivalency would be based off the one guy. They wouldn't send anybody else. Why would they not send anybody else? It's the rest of the guys didn't have what it took to get through the classes. They didn't really have that kind of trust in them because they're all small, hometown, non-educated, just your run-of-the-mill country boy that never really made it in school. Not talking bad about them, don't get me wrong. They just didn't have that type of mindset to go to classes and finish classes and stuff like that and understand what was going on. And here I am, what I call the coon-ass Yankee from up north that moves down south. Oh yeah, he's the perfect guy to go and understand and learn everything and then come back and teach everybody else. So they used me as the guinea pig. Go get this guy completely certified. He'll hold all the certifications in the shop. And then when it's time for me to bail or leave or something happens to the family, they have no recourse on how they're going to keep that shop up and going. You'd think that they'd hire another guy so they could stagger the certifications back and forth so one guy didn't hold them all. So when I left because of family emergency stuff, I gave a 30-day notice. They fired me 2 weeks in. I took all the certifications with me. It's a problem. See, a lot of the issue here is not necessarily with just straight the manufacturer. A lot of the issue here is actually with the dealerships themselves. They get lazy, they get complacent. They know they can they have the tech by the balls. They know that his future lies in that service manager's grasp of when and how he goes to class, how he continues his continuing education inside the dealership. The biggest failure in the dealership model when it comes to the service technicians is Ford not putting their foot down and saying every certification needs to be had by every single technician in here, and you need to work on getting every single one of these technicians across the board certified. But they hold it in front of your face. They know that you're pissed off that you didn't get those classes and stuff done, that you didn't achieve that next world-class status, master status, senior master status, because it's all in their hands on whether or not you make it or not. And that's wrong. That is completely wrong. It shouldn't be that way. It should be Ford stepping in and saying, no, if you're going to have a Ford logo out front of that store and you're going to have technicians working on our vehicles under warranty, you need to get these technicians certified. You can't hang them out there and just let them breathe a little bit whenever you want them to. They got to get certified. Get it done. The biggest failure that Ford had with the dealerships was allowing them to have shop competency status based on one technician or a few technicians. That whole shop should have been worked on, certified. Send him this month, send him a couple weeks later, send him next month. Get them all certified slowly. You ain't got to kill your shop in the process of doing it, but that should have been a mandatory thing to get done. That would have showed that you have faith in your technicians, you're putting time into them, you're wanting them to do better, you're willing to make them better so they can get paid more, and you're making them more of an asset to the company. But instead, you have guys like at the last dealer that I was working at. Love the dealer, don't get me wrong. Hate how it's run. Hate the politics behind everything, but love the people in the dealer itself. Been with the dealership 15 years and can do every freaking thing that you put him on, diagnose and pretty much do every single thing to that vehicle, but doesn't have one freaking factory certification in 15 years. How do you do that? That's the type of shit that happens in this industry. And now when that dealership closes here very, very shortly, I don't know, days, if not a week, where's he going to go? He can't go to another dealer and say, all right, here I go, boys. I want $40 an hour. I'm ready. I can fix everything. They're going to be like, well, what kind of certifications do you have? What kind of Ford certs do you have? Well, I don't. The last dealer never sent me to go get my certifications, but I can work on every vehicle that you guys make. I know everything about them. So you mean to tell me I got to invest thousands of dollars to send you back 15 years of working with Ford and you don't have one single certification? That ain't going to work for me, Jack. Now he's got to go start over new somewhere else. Chrysler, Toyota, whatever it is. And they got to start him fresh because the Ford store is closing in the auto group. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty sad, ain't it? That's the type of shit that happens in these dealerships that people don't know about. Well, I hope this morning's talk finds you well. I love y'all. Be blessed. Have a great day. Until tomorrow. We'll call this exposing the dealership life. Take care. Be blessed.